Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Ross Field, Visual Production Specialist with Odyssey Teams. Today, I'm excited to share with you an insightful conversation we recently had with a truly remarkable individual, Carissa Ryström of the Meadows Prosthetic Hand Foundation and the LN4 Hand Project. Carissa plays a crucial role in the distribution network of our Build-a-Hand program, helping find homes for the prosthetic hands built during this exceptional corporate social responsibility team building activity. Our discussion spans the foundation's profound impact, the transformative nature of the prosthetic devices, and the journey these hands take to reach those in need. We also spoke about the dedicated community that drives this incredible work, the history of the foundation, and some of Carissa's cherished memories on the job. It's clear how deeply she values being part of such impactful work. So sit back and enjoy as we sit down with Carissa Ryström of the Meadows Prosthetic Hand Foundation. Okay, test. Is this on?
Oh, it's on. I can hear you.
Oh, awesome. Exciting. Hey, welcome to the Odyssey studio. We have a very, very special guest joining us today, Carissa Ryström. Carissa, welcome to the studio.
Oh, thank you, Ross. It's my pleasure to be here. Very glad.
Okay, so hey, you play a super important role in the company. Let's just dive right into it.
Great.
Odyssey specializes in philanthropic give-back experiences with the team building element. One of the programs is the Build-a-Hand program, where people literally assemble 30 plus pieces of plastic and metal that turn into prosthetic hands that are distributed to amputees in need across the world. And we do that through a foundation, the Meadows Prosthetic Hand Foundation. You are the ambassador liaison for the foundation. You help serve as the bridge from Odyssey to amputees in need that get these prosthetic hands. Please tell me a little bit about your role.
Yes. So as you said, I'm the ambassador liaison. And I think you described it really well. And I think this role is really important because it just makes sure that everything is organized and is the A to Z of the process for actually getting the now assembled hands out there to people who really need them. And it's been a really amazing joy doing it these last several years, because it's just a phone call you always want to make when you get to tell someone you are receiving a free prosthetic hand after all this time of waiting. And the joy that follows is amazing.
Yeah, that's so lovely. You help all of this come full circle. We can't distribute the hands or put on the program without somebody in your role. Can you elaborate a little bit on how you go about finding recipients?
Yeah, absolutely. How I spend my time is reaching out to different partners who are a wide group of people, really. What we have are two categories. LN4 ambassadors, those are just individuals who are interested in volunteering to fit the hands themselves upon people in need, or they know networks, they know people abroad maybe, they're in a medical community and they can give us names of potential partners. So these are just individuals who want to volunteer their time, and they are amazing. And then we also have LN4 ambassador organizations, which are just groups of people basically who want to help and support the foundation by giving out hands. So, I mean, it's been amazing the different types of partners that have come to us, some of which we've pursued and some of which have found us, through the various networks and on the internet and through word of mouth and all of this. And those are universities and even, classrooms like primary schools, certainly medical communities, clinics, some government entities, which has been amazing to see like whole governments be on board, religious affiliations. I mean, the list goes on and on. Civic groups, Rotarians are huge for us. And they spend a lot of time going through their community, communicating that there are free prosthetic hands available, assembled, ready to go for them. And then they, promote it in all their various channels. And oftentimes people come for one big event and they might fit 100 people that day with prosthetic hands. And we teach them how there's stations to equip them. And there are lots of ways that we reach them. And then the other way is oftentimes with medical ambassador organizations, they might just keep a box in their clinic. And as people come in with other needs, they say, hey, would you like a free prosthetic hand as well? And they're just blown away that this is even a choice, and these are some of the most remote rural areas within the developing countries. And it's awesome. So the partners really work their networks, and that's what helps us get hands out. And then we do millions and millions of emails back and forth. That's the part no podcast wants to hear about.
I love it. So it takes a village to distribute these hands. There's a lot of moving parts. Obviously, there's a lot of emails that you have to pour through. But mention some of the countries where we send the most hands to.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You are right. It does take a village, as many great endeavors out there do. This is certainly one of them. And I would say our top places of distribution are India, Mexico, many countries that kind of make up the region of East Africa. So, Uganda, Tanzania, Ethiopia, Kenya, there's a really strong presence there. The Philippines would be another one. These would probably be some of our strongest distributed areas. And that's largely due to really big ambassador networks. We want to fill out more and more countries because there's such need, but we need the partners on the ground to do that. So those areas have been amazing in their established networks.
Yeah. And to date, there's 83,658 hands that have been distributed since the inception of the Build-a-Hand program, which was early 2000. These hands are in more than 99 countries. And one of the most important elements of this program and of the distribution network is that where these hands end up are places where people have little to no access to standard health care. Mm-hmm. And these hands are distributed free of cost, and that's important. Can you talk about the impact it has on these recipients in these remote areas across the world?
Oh, yeah. Well, and to my joy, I can actually say, because of a shipment I just initiated, we are now at over 84,000 hands.
Let's go.
I know. I'm like, we can tick it up. Let's do it. The biggest impact here is exactly what you said, that these are free. A prosthesis would never be an option for most of these people who are getting care. And they're simple, they're mechanical, they are aimed for anyone to be able to fit them. Brothers can fit these on their sisters, and parents can help their children, and neighbors can help an elderly neighbor. And they are meant to be applicable, widely used for people all across the globe. And this program is designed to give them a very simple prosthesis where they can actually work on it and tinker with it and use it themselves. And if anything ever happens to the hand, they can reach out directly to the foundation and we will provide a replacement hand. So I think that just what you said of having a free prosthesis is exactly right. And by free, we're always very clear to communicate to them that it was actually fully donated. Our donors, the people who sign up for these hand assembly programs, these Build-a-Hand programs, they are the ones that are really making this possible. They are donating their time and their funds to give these people their free prostheses. So I think that's a huge place of empowerment as well to our hand recipients, because they know somebody has taken the time, spent the money on their behalf, and are willing to do that just for them because they as a person are worth it. It's not just a write-off. It's not just a free item that would have gone in a landfill otherwise or something like that. This has purpose and it's really changing lives.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Just to give people an idea, if you want to look right now on your smartphone or on your tablet or on your computer at the website, go to www.ln4handproject.org. The letter L, the letter N, the number 4, handproject.org. You can head there and you can see a little bit more about their mission and learn more about the LN4 Hand Project. And probably one of the greatest joys of your program is getting back some of the pictures and getting back some of the videos of recipients who are receiving their hand. Talk to me about just how filled with joy you are when you see some of these videos and pictures come back of people using the hand.
Oh, yeah. The list goes on and on. It's amazing what people can do. It returns a sense of dignity to each hand recipient and independence. So many of them are just using them for basic day-to-day tasks of cooking and cleaning and taking care of their children and bathing themselves and, having a sense of autonomy again. instead of constantly being in need and requiring a full-time caretaker, which most of them do not have available. They are able to do so much and just re-engage and enter society in a different way. Also, it's pretty amazing when you see people playing instruments and doing that really well, where it's not just practical things. It's art and gardening and hobbies and music and riding bikes with their kids again. I mean, the list goes on, and it's remarkable. And really shows how inventive people are.
Yeah. I love how you mentioned autonomy. It restores a sense of independence for these recipients. And the hand that you mentioned, it's simple in design. It's been inducted into the Smithsonian for its durability and functionality. And the simplistic approach of a prosthetic hand is almost better for the recipients, as you alluded to earlier, because it's so simple and it can allow amputees to maneuver and do things in sort of an easy way.
So the prosthesis is a FDA registered class 1 device, and it is very simple and mechanical. It has 3 digits on top and 2 digits on the bottom, and they ratchet together to kind of make a clasping motion. This is such a functional device that they're over the moon to have this as a choice. So we have 2 sizes. We have size regular and size large. The size regular fits most adults across the world, and we also find that it works for many children. Sometimes children kind of have to grow into them, but a lot of children are ready to go to use them. Sometimes I get emails from children who got them and they've grown up and they need a size large, which is like, wow, I'm so happy to hear that this hand has lasted you so long that you now need a new size. Yeah. Amazing. But they can hold up to 30 pounds. So heavy grocery bags are able to be used on them. The fitting process itself might take 20 to 30 minutes the first time. But after you kind of adjust the straps and make the appropriate trimmings, a person should be able to get in and out of their hand within seconds.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's for their convenience and also for their safety. Just if anything were to happen, they need to be able to get out of that hand immediately. And then they can also just easily wash it, soap and water. They don't sleep in it. Most people don't. So it's meant to be an aid to them in whatever way they want to use it. As a foundation, that's the last thing we want to do is be controlling over how they use it and work with it. And we're not. And I think that's produced the best results as well, because there's so much freedom in it. It's also simple to get them. If there's no ambassador in their area, they can reach out directly to the foundation with a photo of themselves, some information, and we will send them a hand directly to their house. So I think that this fluid relationship is what causes a lot of success. Yeah. And then there's one standardized color as well, which is after some research with a design and human services groups, they've determined that this medium brown is like a universal color for across the world of what will help people, because we also didn't want to get into too nuanced of choices and then increase our costs and possibly eliminate the chance of them being fully free for them. So we want to do maximum efficiency, lowest cost, maximum reach.
Yeah. And it's turned into a situation that's just maximum loving and care.
Yeah.
And that's what I love
how many
about
times
it.
Can we say maximum right now?
It's just so impactful and it's so heartwarming what you guys are doing and what the LN4 Hand Project's about. How did this prosthetic hand come about?
Oh, yeah. Well, in full disclosure, before me. So I will do my best to give the foundation history. But it began in 2005, and Ernie Meadows, he was an engineer, and he created this project in memory of his daughter, Ellen. So the Ellen Meadows Prosthetic Hand Foundation is the daughter of Ernie Meadows, the creator. Unfortunately, she passed away at age 18 in a car accident, and he wanted to do different projects to remember her by. So LN4, this was his 4th project. He was a very private man, so the first 3 actually are not known.
Interesting.
They are other projects that are totally unrelated, but this was his 4th. And so that's how the name became LN4. And really the initial work also was done with Michael Mendonça, our co-founder, and he's still the president of the foundation today and absolutely instrumental in every part of the foundation piece moving forward. And then a couple of other early hands in it that were amazing, advisors, other engineers, kind of creating the best possible prototype hand that they could. And then many iterations and improvements along the way, and partnering largely at the beginning with Rotarian groups. So they were huge champions, and they still are, of the prosthetic hand. And I think the earliest projects were in Vietnam and Laos. Let's see, I think some other areas in Southeast Asia. And like any good project that you are just trying, there's a ton of trial and error and a lot of cringing moments now of thinking back of like, wow, okay, we've improved that and that and that. And so it's been amazing to see the journey of so many people who just want to give their time and their expertise to this need. And I think also Ernie Meadows had gone abroad and learned a lot about the landmine situation, and really were gearing these hands to people who had been affected by landmines. And then over time, the research just kept growing and growing from the World Health Organization of how many amputees or those with upper limb loss were really out there. And it just widened from that part, because there's just such need beyond even the landmine issue. And so that's how we've kind of been growing from there.
Yeah, that's amazing. One thing that I learned in producing videos for the Build-a-Hand program and the Odyssey team side is that landmines are still a serious problem. That there are a lot out there in countries around the world, specifically in Southeast Asia, as you were mentioning, in Vietnam. And when we share statistics about how many landmine victims there are in our team building programs, participants are always taken aback by those statistics. And it's scary and it's sad, but these hands help them. And that's why it's such important work. There are more than 84,000 prosthetic hands from his project out there in the world helping others.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So how can someone get involved with the LN4 Hand Project? If you're out there and if you're listening and you want to become an ambassador and you're in one of these countries that you can help and you want to help, how can they get involved?
Oh, my favorite question. I hope that you are inspired and that you will consider reaching out. Basically, you reach out to me, yours truly, Carissa Ryström, Ambassador Liaison with the Ellen Meadows Prosthetic Hand Foundation. You can go to our website and there is a tab that says Become an Ambassador. We have a portal system where people go on there and register. You can register as either an individual, like I talked about before, LN4 Ambassador, or an organization. And by organization, that doesn't have to be fancy. Sometimes those are, 5 people that are just committed to working together that are representing some group. So if you are somebody in something small, a group that's interested, we've even had the Girl Scouts here in America, just like one district, and thinking anybody can help. So you can register online. There's very clear instructions of how to help. And then the foundation, we will reach out and just confirm your registration. And then everybody starts, if you're brand new, you start by receiving 2 hands. And that is so that you can become familiar with it. You can teach your team. You can watch the videos, play around with it. We know that if you're interested, these hands will get to recipients. And this is a core part of our goal of creating more partners, is equipping people to be able to actually do this successfully. Once you are able to distribute those 2 hands, then you move to a level 2 ambassador or ambassador organization, and you can get a whole box, which is 25 hands. The increments increase as the levels increase. Everybody's contributing different skills, different experiences, different levels of time and ability. And we're thankful for all of it because we couldn't do any of this without our team, without our volunteers. I'm actually reminded of the BTS.
I was just thinking about that.
Yeah, it just came to my mind of for the very well-known K-pop band BTS. They reached out. Their fan base is called the Army. And they reached out and they wanted to support us in service of one of the band members' birthdays. And It was amazing. It was a week-long fundraiser, and thousands of individual donors gave, and some, $1, and some, a lot larger. But just thinking, over the course of like 4 days, over 60,000 was raised just by the fan base of that group. And thinking anybody combining their efforts, the impact can be so much. And it might feel so small to you personally to give a few minutes of your time, or to give $1, or to support amputees abroad. But to that person abroad, their whole world is changed. Yeah. And I wanted to mention this as well about the hand fitting event, when I had talked about people coming in, and fitting 100 people in a day, let's say. That is a monumental moment in their life. A lot of times they come with a ton of family, friends. Yeah. They're taking pictures. We have to have, sometimes ambassadors will have a place where family or viewers can be, off to the side a little bit, so that people can still get the work done, but not exclude them, because it's such a rite of passage, that they're getting this new tool, this new prosthetic hand. So it's pretty amazing to just see the whole scope.
Yeah, the whole scope. I love how you just put that. The BTS fundraising situation was so fun to be a part of. And I think part of that is when people learn about what's happening with the LN4 Hand Project, it's really enlightening and sort of eye-opening. I mean, not a lot of people know that this is going on. And the BTS Army, when they found out what you guys are all about, they jumped on board and gave everything they had over the course of a few days to raise a ton of funds to help out. And that was just incredible. We were filming videos and sharing stuff on social media and trying to fire them up and adding little GIFs and memes and whatever we could do to appeal to them. It was a really fun time.
Oh, yeah. You're really bringing me down memory lane right now, Ross. You and I trying to work in the time zone that the largest segment of their audience is in Korea. And Christmas week, the holiday week, it was crazy. And here we're learning how to do these videos and make it fun, and their theme, cat ears, all sorts of things, ringing in the new year.
Yeah. In the middle of the night, no less, because that's how we roll. We're trying to make a difference. We should mention a little bit about Odyssey's side and the Build-a-Hand side, where on top of the ambassador networks, on top of the families, on top of the people who are helping fit the hands, there's a whole nother side of this, a whole nother branch to this, is that the companies who are getting involved in the Build-a-Hand program and wanting to have their fingerprints on this. And we work with so many companies who take part in the philanthropic give back activity of Build-a-Hand, and they get to take a picture with the hand that they've completed and then write the company name on a placard, Comcast, J&J, Chevron, on and on and on. So many Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies involved in this program. And that placard goes into a handbag, and that's part of what the recipient sees when they get their hand. They see the company name, and they also see a photo of the people that built the hand. Yeah. And then these companies are able to say, we care about corporate social responsibility. We care about giving back as a company. That aligns with our mission. That aligns with our purpose. And we're providing our employees with an opportunity to do something that makes a difference, which, of course, when you work for a company that makes a difference, it makes you feel so much more prideful about what you're doing and who you're working with. So if companies want to get involved, that's the way to do it, to search for it through Odyssey Teams. And it's really neat. What do you think about that side of things, that these people get in teams and they put together these prosthetic hands?
Oh man, it's so inspiring. The client stories just keep coming in, of people that are building these hands and choosing to prioritize their CSR money in this way and to prioritize their team's time. Yeah. I mean, it is a big gift that they're giving. And I think that one of the most amazing parts is that some of the names you just mentioned, those are massive companies.
Yeah.
But they're dialing down their giving to a single person. And I think that that's what really plugs in employees into their companies, that realizing I'm not just a number. If they care about this hand recipient as an individual person, they care about me as an individual employee. They're willing to invest this time and show that this company is made up of so many different parts to actually keep it successful, disciplined, motivated, moving forward, and engaging that on an individual level. That's an incredible gift that a company can give to an employee. And I think, there's a lot of great things out there to help include employees and happy hours and fun community bonding, employee bonding time. But when you actually get groups of teams together saying, you know what, we're going to serve and give for someone else's behalf because it's that important. I think that that's a core piece of why this works, and for the individual hand recipient too, looking at, wow, I've only ever seen that label on my shampoo bottle.
Yeah.
I've only ever heard of that insurance company, and it's dialing that in for them and their whole world. Think about the positive impact that the whole, company is getting worldwide of people seeing their information everywhere in such a positive and uplifting way.
Oh, so well said, Carissa. There's a phrase that I like to say when somebody says something on a podcast that's amazing and we need to keep it. And I would like to say, clip that, because everything you just said right there was the best way it needs to be explained. In my humble opinion, you just broke it down. This is why companies need to get involved. This is why participants need to get involved. And it's so much more than just going to an escape room. It's so much more than going to bowling night with your colleagues, which is fun, but it doesn't have this kind of impact.
And the long lasting effect of it as well. But I will take that, clip that. I shall print that and put it on my wall.
That's right.
Ross Field thinks I'm worthy of clip that.
That's right. That's your new nickname, Carissa. Clip that, Ryström. Dropping golden nuggets of information on us.
Oh boy. Again, no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. Well, this has been so wonderful to be able to sit down and discuss the Meadows Prosthetic Hand Foundation with you and its amazing impact. And you're such an integral, wonderful human being to work with and collaborate with. I always enjoy our interactions. So if there's anything you want to share or anything else you'd like to add, please do. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, thank you, Ross. I'm just honored to be here. The main thing I just want to end with on behalf of the foundation and my bridge role between Odyssey Teams and the foundation is just how grateful we are for what people can do. We know that this life in this world today is busy and fast-paced, and people are trying to divide their attention across dozens of things. Yeah. And to stop and give some time and energy toward even learning more, even if this podcast just inspires you to go to the About page and learn a little bit more, and that's what comes of it. We're grateful, because I think that is why this operation moves forward. That people are willing to think about others and how they can help and spread the news of these free prosthetic hands being available. We'd love to hear from you or your contacts for distributors, in developing countries, and go from there.
Yeah, love that. And it is www.LN4handproject.org.
Yes.
Yeah. And we mentioned Ernie, but we should also mention Lane Hensley.
Yes.
And Bill John, who are the brainchilds of the Odyssey Build-a-Hand program and have just this wonderful approach to work that makes a difference, getting involved in philanthropic team building activities and orchestrating them and facilitating them. We wouldn't be here without Bill and Lane. And I know you work closely with Lane as he's heavily involved in the foundation. So before we part, talk a little bit about Lane and Bill, and just, I'm sure you're just so grateful to be a part of it, as am I.
Oh, yes. Spread the love to Bill and Lane. Yeah. I would love to. They are quite the duo. They are fun. Yeah. They are energetic. They understand the bigger picture and what we're trying to do here. And I think that's what's inspiring about Odyssey Teams, is that it's not really about one single day or one group of people or trying to get one certain client or anything like that, but it's about understanding that these people are out there without hands and they need them. So what's it going to take to move this along and provide meaningful team gathering events where people can have a long-lasting impact building something and remember that they actually did that and they were a part of that. You know, I think in many ways, Bill and Lane could be considered just planting the seed for so many people in whatever their next season looks like of how they choose to serve and give beyond themselves and their own families and their communities.
Clip that.
Oh, boy. Now you're just freely handing them out willy-nilly.
No, it was so well said.
Well, I meant it.
Yeah.
I did. And I also think that Michael Mendonça, who leads the foundation, who's the founder and president there, his work is invaluable as well. And he and Lane collaborate all the time. They're amazing at working together because there's so much joint collaboration in this process. It's a pretty unique blend of the private public sector merging in a way that's super impactful and powerful and is a great model for people to do this across the board in their efforts.
Yeah, love that. Well, thank you so much for paying a visit into the Odyssey studio. I know we will catch up again. I'm sure we'll do this again. There's a lot more to discuss, and there's some really exciting developments on the way when it comes to the LN4 Hand Project. So, the goal today was to pop in here and have a casual conversation. We didn't have a script. We just wanted to spontaneously discuss what was going on, and I think it went so well. I'm so excited to put it together and just share the wonderful world of Carissa Ryström and her role as the LN4 Ambassador Liaison. The bridge. Clip that, Carissa.
Well, thank you, Ross. Glad to be here.
All right. Thanks, Carissa.
Thank you. Bye.